Here we go. So this is something a little bit different. A couple of changes. Part of the Cycle with Michael upgrade season. So I've got this fancy, nice new fit for purpose MacBook Air with a cheeky M5 chip, and I'm just stepping it up this time for my recording. I'm going to be doing a sprint session, some sprint training, the cold training, as you'll see in a minute. It's probably 24, 25, top left, 25 minutes of training. So a bit of a warm up first for 3 minutes, and then we're going to 7 sessions of 10 seconds, 620-watt sprints. So that's probably, it seems to be in an ERG mode. And my aim was not to just do the 620, I wanted to do as much as possible. I've actually whacked it up to 101% there by accident, because I didn't realise the shifters, the electronic shifters, move the percentage at 1% at a time, so I'll bring that back down to 100 in a minute. But 3 changes this time, part of the upgrading. I'm going to 1440p as a starting point when I'm recording that, and that's the first thing. So OBS is set up for that. I've got some high settings on here. I can't go to 4K because the Retina screen is not 4K. I don't know the exact dimensions and pixels, but it's not 4K. It's not at 3840 pixels basically, so it won't output 4K. On the left hand side, I'm just trying something, a little experiment, which I wanted to do instead of, I was thinking of a green screen in the old pain cave, but I was just experimenting with this slightly subtle version with a bit of opacity, so you can actually see through me there. And I thought it was quite a nice little subtle effect. You know, it's not about watching me here, it's about watching the screen. So bringing the opacity down, I felt worked. So just a bit of creative experimentation. So back to the sprinting, something I really need to practice. It's called Fun Sprints. You find it in the workout section of Zwift, of course, in the sprinting section. I've chosen the desert route, Tempus Fugit, and we're on ERG mode. You can noticeably see the smoothness and the slight difference in graphics, even though it's not 4K. It really is getting towards that way, and a huge step up from where I was. And I'd say there's an incremental step up from 1080p as well, just normal HD. Especially with not just the shadows, but the extra animations, the additional sound. I'm trying to get to 620 there, and see. Look, I've just got to pass because it's ERG mode. It won't be showing if I'm doing 750. So 10 seconds there, and then back on. It's not a rest. This my FTP is at 276, so 245. For another 2 minutes and 40 seconds. He's not really a rest. I had to concentrate here. Then we've got another 10 seconds, and then you do get a break at 150 watts. So that's the format. I'm going to speed it up, obviously. Sprint is something I really need to. I have improved slightly. So at the end of some of these 15-mile races, 10 to 15-mile races, I'm able to get between 500 and 600 after doing 30-35 minutes at race pace, which is an improvement, and I'm able to put that sprint in. So I've improved, but I'm far from my top end power. It's never going to be 1,000. It's just I'm not built for that. My body shape isn't built for that. I haven't got the power in my legs. I can't put huge power down while I'm sat down like some riders can. My kind of forte is on the flats in the climbs to an extent, and just sticking with a particular power and grinding it out. But I've got to practice the sprinting, and it's something, you know, I recognise I can be better at. So I highly recommend this fun sprints. It's for another reason, it's 24 minutes of your day. So if you, like most people are working, you can 5 to 10 minutes to get ready, get all your kit set up, get your recording set up, 24 minutes of actual exercise, and then a 10-minute warm down shower. You know, you're back in work within an hour, which is usually what most people get over a lunchtime, before or after work. So I'm pressing on here. This is the less than 30 seconds to go. You can see the barriers quite clearly. Now we're putting in another sprint. As I said, I didn't try and stick at 6:20, although it will read approximately that, because that's the recording. That's how it is on the ERG mode. I suspect I'm perhaps 750 to 800. At the top end, I think that's more realistic. So stand up here. The barrier, and we get a bit of a break now, 150 watts, which is a bit of a rest. So let's just speed this up now, not to see the sprinting really. What else can I say other than this? So yeah, on the left hand side, I think that opacity is working. It looks quite a cool effect in my eyes, and you can see the rest of the, you can see just enough. I think you don't want to see any more of my bald head sweating. So I've got the colour and the gamma right. I did some minor adjustments. Once I'd seen the effects, I started doing the minor adjustments. So yeah, I'd say it's I'm happy with that. 2:45 for another 2 minutes 40 seconds. So this was getting difficult. But good practice for the racing, because classically you know, you're doing 1 or 2 or perhaps lots of these little punchy climbs, and then I'm having to do probably this 85-90% on the flats in the draft to keep pace with the front group, and I think that's where this is good practice. And then the sprint is effectively, it's not just about the sprint at the end, but let's say you take the Glasgow crit circuit, when there's, you know, there's a succession of punchy little climbs that are probably 10 to 15 seconds, like I'm practicing here, or the Glasgow crit reverse, and you're punching up these climbs, and if you want to stay at the front, I've found you've got to put almost a full sprint in, 10-15 seconds, then you've got to get back on the power even on the descent. So I think it's very good practice for a crit race. 1 minute to go here. You see the stats there, it's irrelevant really, the average wattage. It's clear what you have to do to achieve each little gold star on the left hand side. And for me, this was all about sprinting and then keeping a reasonable pace up. Good bit of practice. You can see my power stats at the bottom from a graphical point of view. Surge approaching now, are you ready for this, it says. Gives you clear instructions, but I always find when you're doing these workouts, if you're pushing to a certain limit, your mind isn't seeing those question marks. It's pretty easy this. You go into the barrier and then you've 2.5 minutes to wait until the next sprint. So there's nothing really to miss or any information you need to soak up. There we go, putting the power down. That is exactly like a crit race climb, I've got to say. I would love to know whether it is recording the actual wattage that I'm putting out there. Put down in the comments. I guess I could go into the, make sure that it'll show it on the companion app if it's a workout. I'll have a look afterwards. Here we go again. Bang. Power. Stand up. Head down. I was on the bottom of the drops as well, just like the advertised show. I was intending to sprint with a bit of technique and try and do it properly in the workout, and then hopefully that will manifest when I'm actually racing, and I'll get a nice bit of muscle memory. And yeah, because when you're racing, you've done 30-35 minutes and you've been at your limit, let's say, and you come into that final kilometre before the sprint and someone breaks away or pulls the train out and you're well over FTP, you're perhaps doing 130, 150. By the way, neighbours come round there to borrow some brasso, which we didn't have. So that's what I'm talking about there. So I thought she'd left there, bless her. And I thought, but she didn't, no. Kept talking. And I was on the 245 watts. So I'm struggling there. Not ideal talking, but it did, what's the word? It did distract me from my pain for 30 seconds. So back on it now. You can see on the left, we're over halfway now with 2 of the big 245 sessions to go through. Just getting back to Zwift itself, when you up the resolution, you do get the sound, you do get the extra sound effects, I've got to say. And you get the extra animations, you get more, obviously more textures that are better resolved. And I want to say, I've read that there are many more different bits of road furniture, plants, vegetation. It's just a better overall visual experience. I'm really pleased with that graphic on the left. I've got the colour balance perfect. To say that I'm in a shed as well, I had to get the light right. It's really quite dark. So there's no additional illumination, but it's all done through the adjustments. Come on, get that 620 power down. Shouldn't be looking at, not for 10 seconds, I shouldn't need to. Don't forget to drink. One more block to go. Do you know I didn't have my drink on this, it was only 24 minutes. Did forget my towel as well, that was problematic. But this super fan I've got, oh honestly, it's a Dreo fan, and even at 6/10 it's fantastic in, I want to say 25 to 30 degree heat. In a shed, it still seems to give you just enough cool air, and moves the air just enough to keep you cool. Gets that sweat evaporating off your brain. It's good. Highly recommend. It is like chasing the wheel in front. It's all about holding on to the effort and not dropping. Yeah, I think that's a far better articulation than what I'd said earlier. 2 minutes at 2:44 to go. And we've got the final sprint. It is hard sprinting after you've done that, but again it's reflecting race pace. By the way, I'm just putting a bit of one last decent tune on to get me ready. Get me through this and get me on my last sprint. Can't remember what I put. Just a bit of motivation. Yes, I'm really pleased with myself now. I've got this graphics set up. I know I keep emphasising it, but It's been so difficult for the last year. Struggling with workarounds, connection issues. If your CPU doesn't have the power, your graphics card or whatever you've got in your system can't handle the loads, and you're struggling on 8 gig of RAM, not quite enough. You can try all the workarounds, but at the end of the day, it is exactly that. It's a workaround because it hasn't got the power to cope with the load put on it. Zwift. Final 60 seconds now, so I'm pleased with this. Again, we've done 24 minutes. That's a good session. You can fit around any work in the morning, lunchtime or after work. It's not going to disrupt your day. You can get a good session in, and clearly it's a good practical practice, this, isn't it? Especially if you're doing the levelling up series, the Zwift games, albeit at the lower ride distances. And I want to say I really respect those people who are doing over 20 miles at race pace, 30 miles. The Zwift epic races, 40, 50 miles. I mean, different gravy. There we go. You can tell it's in ERG because I'm putting way over 620 there. I'm putting 750, 800, perhaps 850 there. Solid session, good work. Absolutely delighted with that, I've got to say. Two-minute cool down. And we just go down from 145 to I think 100 watts of the 2 minutes for the final session. As it says, if you want more workouts with regards to being associated with the cold training, jump into that workout folder. There's lots of different options: climbing, long rides, endurance and stamina, short punchy rides. There's everything, to be fair, so plenty of choice. Thank you for training with me today. If you enjoyed that, like and subscribe. Thank you very much. I'll see you racing midweek. Thank you.